Mike.
Hey, Tiger, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What are we doing in the lab today?
We're actually going to go through, I'm going to show you how we do a mix design.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
No, it's pretty much a piece of cake.
Ugh, don't mention cake, I'm hungry.
No, I actually do want to talk about cake. Because
Really?
when you make a cake, there are certain ingredients you put together for the final product. We're going to do the same thing with these ingredients. It's just instead of flour, we're going to be using aggregate and binder.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep. So
All right.
let's get started.
Okay.
To begin with, I do want to say I already have my batch weights here. This is basically to correlate it to the cake. To make a cake, you need a recipe and you need instructions.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Well, when it comes to asphalt, we have specifications, which give us basically the recipe and our instructions. So
Gotcha.
to start out with, the recipe tells me if I've got a limited amount of wrap. Wrap is recycled asphalt pavement. By the way, a note to the viewers out there, asphalt is the most recycled product there is in the world, so we like to use wrap. And our recipe is basically our batch weights and our blend percentages. And so let's get started by batching up a sample. To begin with,
let's do it.
we're going to batch up a surface mix sample today, and we're going to start with the number 78s, okay?
All right.
I'm going to tear off my pan to 0, and here's the 78s. So, get me some 78s. Next up, we're going to the number 8s.
So this is measuring the weight.
This on this scale is showing me the weight of each component.
Okay.
Each component of the asphalt mixture. Next is my manufactured sand. Then we'll be adding natural sand. A little bit more. And the last ingredient will be our wrap, as I mentioned before, recycled product. So I'm going to slip behind you here, get some wrap. There we go.
All right.
All right, so
Easy.
this is the dry ingredients that are in an asphalt mixture,
Okay.
okay? But before we can do any mix design process or anything else, when it comes to working with asphalt, it all has to get hot. So we're gonna put this in the oven to heat it up before we do our mixing,
Okay.
all right?
Well, when I bake a cake, my ovens are at 350. So what's the temperature of these ovens?
Ah, good question. These ovens, if you can see, this one over here, it's at 150, but that is Celsius.
Okay.
So 150 Celsius is what in Fahrenheit?
I think it's
300 degrees. Good job, good job. So they're at 300 degrees for that.
Okay.
But I will tell you now also, our liquid is in a different oven. The liquid being the asphalt binder that holds everything together. And that's at a different temperature.
Okay.
Okay, and the binder temperature that we use is based on the performance grade of our binder, depending on what we're going to do with the product. For example, I wouldn't want to use the same binder in my asphalt mixture to do a driveway or to do a secondary road as I would the binder I'm going to pave I-95 interstate with.
Gotcha.
I'd have different binders because they give different performance characteristics. So, and because of those performance characteristics, the binder temperatures are different.
Makes sense.
Okay? All right, well, let's put this in the oven
Okay.
and get ready to mix.
All right.
All right. So we're going to place this in the oven to heat up so we can mix.
So this is our hot mixture?
This is the hot mixture. So we put on our safety glasses because we're going to begin mixing.
Yes.
And everything's hot. This bucket, as we call it, a bucket mixer, is hot. And this is our hot materials. I'm going to add them to the bucket.
Okay.
A little dusty. Okay. And then I'm going to reach over here and grab the binder because I told you it was at a different temperature.
Okay. So just like baking a cake, we have our dry ingredients, and now we're going to add the wet ingredients.
Exactly. Consider this the milk.
Gotcha.
Ah. All right, I got to make a little spot in case I don't pour the right amount. And the right amount is 185 grams. All right, here we go.
Wow.
$84.6, $84.7, come on. 85, we got it.
Awesome.
All right, from here we take the bucket and put it on our mixer.
Okay.
We have to add, this is hot as well, but we have to add our mixer and then we turn it on. Now we're going to place this mix in a pan.
Just like a cake.
Just like a cake. Yep. The purpose of this is so we can put this mix in the oven and condition it. Conditioning is for the purpose of simulating what's happening to an asphalt mix when it's being produced. Because you can imagine when the asphalt's being produced, it's exposed to a lot of heat and it's kept hot until it's compacted and it's in place. So this simulates that process. But we don't, just like baking a cake, you don't want to leave anything behind. Not a bowl you want to lick,
Right.
but we want to get everything out.
Awesome.
All clean. Now we'll put this in our oven. We spread it out uniformly, same way you spread out a cake, right? All right, put this in this oven. Okay.
Now, how long does that stay in the oven, Mike?
According to the VDOT specifications, it's in there for 2 hours. Now that we've conditioned our sample for the proper amount of time, 2 hours, we're going to make our specimen.
Okay.
To do that, we need a mold. And we put a paper disc on bottom so it don't stick.
Okay.
Here's our specimen and a funnel. All right, put the funnel here to the mold. All right, there's a specimen. Just level it off. We're gonna add another paper disc and we're gonna compact it in this machine over here.
All right. Now, what is this machine called?
This is called a gyratory compactor and it compacts our specimens. Top plate on, lock it down. And this is how complicated it is to start. Push the button.
Very cool. And how much does it know to compact?
It's going to compact for 50 gyrations, which is per our specifications. Once compaction is complete, we'll take the specimen out of the mold.
Okay.
Again, it's tough. We push a button.
Wow. Technology.
Yes. Yep. And this one is done. We'll set it over here on the counter. All right, we bring it over here. Take the paper disc off. Both sides. And then we have to let it cool.
Okay.
Once it's cooled, this is only one specimen. You need multiple specimens to do a full mix design. But once it's cooled, there are several tests we can run. There are tests where you can measure the voids that are in these specimens. There are different tests that you can do that can measure cracking ability of it. You can measure the stripping capabilities of the binder stripping off the aggregate. There's a rutting test that can be run on specimens like this. So there's a large amount of testing that can be done on these specimens.
Okay.
And it all depends on what you have to do for your mix design.